tense. Okay, so we have the subject, we have will have been, and we have the verbing. The verbing, that is the verb used in the sentence or in the structure, are gerund. These are actions actually happening now. Okay, like working, studying, traveling, waiting, playing. The ing. This is a structure. Will have been is a tense. The future perfect continuous tense. This is a subject. I, you, he, she, it, we, they. Let's look at it in meaning. I will have been working. You will have been studying. He, she, it will have been traveling. We will have been waiting. They will have been playing. Great. Let's look at more examples to explain the future perfect continuous tense. The first on the list is I will have been studying for 3 hours by noon. It's either I'm studying now or I haven't started. But one thing is certain for sure. By noon, I will have been studying for 3 hours. Okay, guys? You will have been working here for 5 years next month. This can be a nice way to tell a friend, okay, or maybe a colleague. If you guys are working together in an office and maybe he has been working for 4 years, 11 months, and just 1 month left for him to have been working for 5 years. This is a polite way of telling him, you will have been working here for 5 years next month. Great. He will have been traveling for 2 days by the time he arrives. Okay. Imagine a friend is to travel to Paris, maybe from Stockholm, Sweden, with train or by train, and he will have been arriving Paris, okay, for 2 days. So this is a polite way of telling your friend or of telling your friend about another friend. He will have been traveling for 2 days by the time he arrives Paris. Then your friend will understand that the friend in question will have been traveling for 2 days using the train before he arrives Paris. Okay? She will have been practicing the piano for an hour before the lesson starts. If you have your daughter and your daughter has to practice the piano, and after that or subsequently there is another event, there will be another event in the future, which is her lesson. So maybe you have been asked by the dad, how long will the piano practice take? That is the duration of the piano practice, which will happen in the future. How long will it take before the start of your daughter's lesson? The polite way of saying it will be, she will have been practicing the piano for an hour before the lesson starts. Great. It will have been raining all morning by the time we leave. Okay. Maybe it's springtime and it rains all the time. And we have to leave tomorrow morning, maybe to church or maybe to a friend's house. So how can we tell someone about our day of tomorrow? Well, we can say that it will have been raining all morning by the time we leave, which means that even before we leave tomorrow to a friend's house, it will have been raining all morning. Okay, this is going to happen tomorrow. or maybe in the future. That's it, guys, when it comes to using the future perfect continuous tense in English. Let's look at some exercise. We'll start with the very first exercise, exercise 1. By next June, I dash at this company for 10 years. We want to talk about the future. What we will have been doing, okay, for the company for 10 years. Okay, the verb here is working. That's the action, working. How do we tell a colleague? You can tell the colleague, by next June, I will have been working at this company for 10 years. Next exercise. So, she dash for 3 hours by the time you arrive. Guess the answer? She will have been running. Okay, this is the correct answer. She will have been running for 3 hours by the time you arrive. So, this event is to happen in the future. We want to know how long, or the duration of how long Mary will have been running before you arrive or someone else arrive. So this is the best way of saying it. She will have been running for 3 hours by the time you arrive. Next exercise 3. By the end of this month, they dash in Paris for half a year. What was the action here? Well, the action is to leave. Okay, to leave. So that's the action. How do we say it? This event is supposed to happen in the future, but this is another event also for half a year. Okay, that's another action in the future. So how do we say it? We say, by the end of this month, they will have been living. Will have been living in Paris for half a year. Great. Next on the list is exercise 4. This time next week, we dash for over 15 hours without rest. Okay. The verb in action is to drive. So, we are talking about the future. There are 2 events here. The first event is the event to drive, and the next event is without rest. Okay, so we want to talk about it in the future. This time next week, we will have been driving, guys, for over 15 hours without rest. This time next week, we will have been driving for over 15 hours without rest. Maybe we are already driving. Maybe we are already in the process of driving. We are driving now. Okay, but this time next week, meaning we can't be in the process of driving now because we are talking about this time next week. Meaning by this time next week, if let's say by 4 p.m. next week, or maybe today is Sunday and the week starts on Monday, can be possible. And maybe we are already at midnight and we are making this sentence. It can be quite possible. Okay, guys, so we are saying that this time next week we will have been driving for over 15 hours without rest. Yeah, Next on the list is exercise 5. In 2026, I touched my PhD for 5 years. The action here is to study. I will have been studying my PhD for 5 years. Maybe currently we have already studied for 4 years. If we are using the right calendar, now we're in 2025. And if we have practically been studying for 5 years, 1 year left to go, to must have completed the PhD to make it 5 years of studying. The best possible way of saying it will be, in 2026, I will have been studying my PhD for 5 years. Okay, guys. The next example on the list is, by the time we get to the summit, we dash for nearly 8 hours. Okay, what is the action here? The action here is to climb. So, by the time we get to the summit, we will have been climbing for nearly 8 hours. In other words, how long will it take before we get to the summit, which the event to occur in the future? It has not yet occurred. Okay, so this is how we say it. By the time we get to the summit, we will have been climbing for nearly 8 hours. The last exercise on the list is exercise 7. When you see him tomorrow, he dashed in the garden all morning. What is the action? The action is to work. When you see him tomorrow, he will have been working. B. He will have been working in the garden all morning. All morning. So, let's conclude. We have looked at the future perfect continuous tense. Okay? Remember that we use it to describe an action that will be ongoing for a period of time, up to a specific point in the future. It emphasizes duration rather than completion. The duration of the first event to the next event. Okay, guys? So we have looked at the affirmative structure, which is the subject plus the tense will have been and the verb been. For more structure, like the negative structure or the interrogative structure, we can cover that in our next lesson. One key note is that the action has not yet been completed. It focuses on how long it will have been happening by a future time. And remember about the common expression like by, for, when, before, when using the perfect future continuous tense. Okay, guys? So that's it for today. Thank you for listening. Thank you for participating. If you have questions, please leave it in the comment section below. I'll gladly answer to your inquiries. Stay well. Have a nice week. Bye. Hi guys. Today we are going to talk about the future continuous tense. Okay? This lesson is for those of you who are in level B1 in English language lessons. So, what is the future perfect continuous tense? Well, it's a way to talk about an action that will be in progress for a certain amount of time before another time or event in the future. Okay? no worries. We are going to break this down. In other words, the action will happen in the future, but it has not yet completed. Okay? So, we use it not just to talk about something that had happened. No, it's in the future. It will happen, but it is not yet completed. It's perfect for showing duration or ongoing activity before a future point. Okay, in other words, if I'm to talk about something that will happen tomorrow, right? And let's say it will happen before noon. Okay, how long will that action happen before noon? How long will that action happen before noon? That's the meaning of an action that will be in progress. So let's say I will have to play piano and I will have been playing it for 3 hours before noon. That's where future perfect continuous tense is handy. Okay guys, because I'm talking about the duration of how long I will be playing piano tomorrow before noon. Noon can be the next event, the next future event, or the time in the future. Okay, let's look at common example. I hope this will help you to understand it perfectly well. Example 1. I will have been studying for 3 hours by noon. Right now is before noon. Noon has not yet reached. Take note. So the studying is either happening now or hasn't reached 3 hours yet. Okay? Maybe I have been studying for 1 hour or 2 hours, but noon has